Welcome to Northwest Arkansas Investing Podcast, your go-to source for real estate investing in Northwest Arkansas.
Whether you're a seasoned investor just starting out, we bring you expert insights, market trends, and practical strategies to help you build wealth through real estate.
From buying and selling to property management and long-term investment planning, we cover it all so you can make smart, informed decisions in this fast-growing market. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Northwest Arkansas Investing Podcast. I got Mr. Brian Wagers here with me.
Hey.
And we're wrapping up kind of our short little series here on, we've talked through a couple different things, market update here in middle 2025. We talked through some investing strategies that we're seeing that still work in a high rate market. And then we wanted to kind of quickly hit on 5 things that we see kill a deal in Northwest Arkansas and really how to spot them early. So I want to pass it to Brian and let him kind of lead on some of the things that we're seeing there.
Yeah, and so there's 5 things that will kill a deal in Northwest Arkansas, but also in any market. And we're going to dive into why that's specific in Northwest Arkansas, but how it relates to really no matter where you're at. And the 5 we have listed right here real quickly: location, infrastructure issue, timing, taxes and insurance, sponsorship team, and capitalization. So first one, location, that's very specific to where you're at. So Northwest Arkansas, for example, is the MSA. Bentonville is one market, Springdale is another, and Fayetteville is another. So my thoughts there are that Fayetteville is not the same as Bentonville. Doing a deal in Bentonville is not going to be the same as one in Fayetteville. They're going to have some similarities, but you have to account for different things, different municipalities, different businesses, different capacities, which we'll go on to, that leads on to the next point. But also within that, how close are you to a major employer in that market? What is the average household income 1 mile from my potential site or potential investment? With 3 miles, what does that look like 3 miles? Does it go up or does it go down? Or is it about the same when you go further out? So I think if it goes down, you're probably in a highly desirable spot if you're the center of where that higher income is. For me, that's what I'm looking at. And then location, you have Whole Foods coming in. You have, are you going to be right next to that Whole Foods project? Or are you over here by a hotel or motel or manufacturing plant? So I think the location is specific. But leading into our second point of 5 things that kill a deal. So number 1, location. Be very specific on what market you're in, and that goes down to the street level. Know what's going on around your street and in your county. Number 2 is infrastructure. So that's actually leading from number 1. We're seeing that a lot in Northwest Arkansas, infrastructure problems, not problems, capacity, I would say. Mm-hmm. Centerton had max sewer capacity. So if you were planning on building a project, you had some issues. And there's some other areas of Northwest Arkansas that have sewer infrastructure. So that can kill a development deal. That's for sure. So I would definitely be wary of there. But now on the other token, if you have an existing deal, sometimes that can help support your deal. That means nothing else is coming online in the area.
I would, and real quickly too, I would add the infrastructure issues or timing. And some of these markets, these markets within Northwest Arkansas, there's going to be different rent cycles and different leasing cycles. And so, Fayetteville being one is catching the right timing for students and everything like that. And which may be completely different to Rogers. And Rogers, leasing would be majority of the year. Maybe it's some portion of the year where, some of the larger corporations are moving people in. And so I think, with understanding timing of each of these markets and what kind of makes them tick with the local businesses, corporations, things like that, I think they're definitely important and could end up killing a deal if you're buying at the wrong time or you're not understanding these little cycles within each.
Next, on number 3, we have taxes, insurance. This can really be expenses overall. Make sure that, and and why I put taxes and insurance that's very specific to Northwest Arkansas. You might have costs going up across the country, labor costs, but taxes and insurance is definitely something I would be wary of. Are you underwriting for 30% increase after you buy the property? How is the county that you're investing in reassessing those taxes? When are they doing that? So I'd be wary of those, and getting insurance. I would make sure you're getting a few opinions on that too. Absolutely. And accounting for higher insurance as well. And then, a rising tide lifts all boats. So as, white collar jobs become more payable, so will blue collars, and that's continuing need here in contract services. From household to commercial, you're going to see payroll costs continue to increase too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I would definitely be wary on what you're paying in expenses today does not mean what you're going to be paying expenses tomorrow. Yeah. So I would definitely account for all expenses to be going up.
Yep, absolutely. And one little note to that would be Arkansas is in the last few years has been one of the highest claim states insurance-wise in the country, behind like California, which is crazy. So it seems like a lot of wind and storm issues are starting to shift this way, and so that all will kind of result in insurance costs in Arkansas and Northwest Arkansas as a whole to continue to rise, and so make sure you're aware of that.
Number 4, this is especially true in any deal, and that is the sponsorship team and the partnership team. So who is the one calling the shots, and who is the one, or who's the team, or who are the partners on the project. So that is going to be super important, and that can make or break your deal as far as who's a quarterback, who's a running back. Make sure they have experience doing the kinds of deals that you're doing, or they're partnering up with people that have experience, what you're looking for specific to that market. We talked about location, but having experience in a certain market is important to have someone on your team that is doing that. I think that's also what we've talked about in Northwest Arkansas is what's advantage to us is being boots on the ground investors here, because we do have a lot of investors in Northwest Arkansas that are not boots on the ground here. So hope they better be partnering with someone that is, or that someone is the lead there. So
agreed.
Number 5, I have how you are capitalizing that, and that is how you're structuring the debt and how you're structuring the partnership altogether. As a side point for number 4 is how you're structuring that. You make sure you're spelling out roles and responsibilities, but capitalizing it. We talked a little bit about seller financing on the last episode, but what kind of debt are you having? What kind of equity are you bringing in? Are you having enough contingencies? Do you have enough dry powder if something is to go wrong, if you need to hold it longer than you were expecting, if you have cost overrun? So I think that could definitely kill a deal if you didn't have enough equity that you thought you were going to need, and if you have too much leverage, not the right leverage.
Absolutely.
So those are all points on capitalization.
Yeah, and I think this is a great one to wrap it up, because I think this is the most important thing when it comes to, I would almost say it, and this might be a hot take, but I would almost say the debt is sometimes more important than even the real estate, kind of the way that you're structuring that, and especially depending on the market, how you're kind of aligning that to the property is super important, and can really put you in a bad spot if you do it poorly. So I think continue to lean on banking relationships and partners in the local areas. I think those are going to be, just as much your partner as someone that's buying the deal with you. And so I think this is a great list, and we wanted to kind of run through this and knock through kind of 5 quick points of what can kill your deal, not only in Northwest Arkansas, but really across the country. And so I know these are things that Brian has a lot of experience in some of the bigger commercial deals, but they also ran true to the small multifamily and single family market as well. So any closing thoughts on that?
Yeah. Location, infrastructure, taxes and expenses, sponsorship team, and how you capitalize it, to summarize it.
Love it. So keep it in mind as you continue to look for deals in Northwest Arkansas, and we appreciate y'all listening. Hopefully this was of value to you, and listen to the last couple episodes. We talked about some investing strategies that continue to work in a high rate environment, and then we talked through kind of a market report really quickly on what we're seeing now that we're midway through the year. So continue to stick with us, and we've got some great episodes coming. We've got Tyler Overstreet coming up next, and we're excited to talk through what's to happen in Bentonville. So thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys.
Again, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and list some sponsors off here. We're going to start with Whinstone Private Lending. This episode is brought to you by Whinstone Private Lending, one of the top private and hard money lenders now serving Northwest Arkansas. Whether you need short-term capital for a flip, a bridge loan, or creative financing, they've got you covered with very flexible products to fit nearly any deal, including 100% financing. What sets them apart is their deep expertise, fast response times, and ability to think outside of the box to help investors like us close quickly and efficiently. If you're looking for a real lending partner, check out Whinstone Private Lending. Link is in the show notes. Our next sponsor is Advantage Title and Escrow. They're a local company. They do great work. Specifically, Kayla Phillips. I can speak personally on this sponsor because I use Kayla for all of my transactions. It's been 2, 3, 4 years now, and Kayla and I have done a ton of deals. We probably do between 65 to 80 deals a year together, and they do a great job. The SOPs, so systems and processing that they have over Advantage Title, is just incredible. Clients love it. They do a great job from start to end communicating. When I give a deal to Advantage Title and Escrow, I know that it's going to be taken care of. There's no second guessing. I almost am able to treat them like a second transaction coordinator to my transaction coordinator that I already have. I know that they're going to handle the systems and processes correctly as an agent, as a homeowner, as a buyer or seller. They do an incredible job of handling a transaction and communicating throughout the process. They do a great job with communication, especially Kayla Phillips over there. I would highly encourage you, if you're looking to close on a home, buy a home, if you're an agent listening, to use Advantage Title and Escrow, specifically Kayla Phillips. So you're going to reach Kayla best at 501-358-1601, or you can email her, Kayla, Cayla, at goadvantagetitle.com. Advantage is ADVANTAGE title.com. Banks are about community, and Century Bank of the Ozarks has been your community bank for 131 years. That's over a century, since 1894. They've been helping neighbors build homes, grow businesses, and plan futures. Because they're locally owned, your loan approval happens here, not miles away. Visit their locations in Fayetteville and Mountain Home, Arkansas, as well as Gainesville, Theodosia, Bakersfield, and Ava, Missouri. Century Bank of the Ozarks, local bankers make local decisions since 1894. Member FDIC and equal housing lender. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to give us a follow on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an update.
Don't forget to connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn for more real estate insights and behind-the-scenes content.
Have a question you want us to cover? Send it our way. And if you're interested in sponsoring the show, visit nwainvesting.com to get in touch. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.